Now we have to move on to the gimmicks of the week, my friend Bob. This is when we talk about the things that happen in the world of wrestling that weren't necessarily big enough to have their own topic, but are big enough to shout out on the show. First off, we have the debut of the week. Mr. Shelton Benjamin is back, Bob.
Yeah, congratulations to Sheldon Benjamin. He's with MVP, and Bobby Lashley's apparently on the way too. So the Hurt Syndicate, I believe, is what they're going to be called. Like this is what we just talked about. WWE doesn't want these guys anymore. It's great AEW exists because they get a chance to reinvent themselves or try the same thing again and see if it works in AEW. But I'm excited for Sheldon Benjamin, who Shawn Michaels once said is a guaranteed WWE Hall of Famer, makes his debut in AEW. So great prediction by the Heartbreak Kid there.
Speaking of a WWE future Hall of Famer, probably should be in the Hall of Fame now. It is Mr. CM Punk winning Social Superstar of the Week. Bob, you have said before we should let the past stay in the past, and yet CM Punk keeps referencing it, and you're loving it.
Yeah, I'm talking about on television. If you're gonna, yeah, it's a pretty big difference to me, but I guess not to you. But yeah, Social Superstar CM Punk on social media, not on WWE Raw this week, not on their flagship show, on social media referenced AEW, saying, "I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with the fucking children." There's infamous All Out 2022 thing. I thought it was funny. I think it's funny how people still get upset about it, or people still laugh about it like me. I'm talking about AEW needs to move on because he's not coming back. That's my whole point. If you're going to keep referencing him, you're going to remind everyone like me, who's scarred by it, that he's not coming back. And the AEW is not going to be the perfect little wrestling company that I wanted it to be. But anyways, yeah, that was a Social Superstar. I just thought it was funny how it took the internet by storm for like 2 hours, like it always does. It's just, he has that thing, that connection. You either love him or hate him, but people just will talk about him right away. So that's why he gets a Social Superstar.
The return of the week happened at the Monsters Mayhem match, whatever you call it, last Monsters Standing. We knew that the ring was breaking. We knew that we were going to get shenanigans afoot, and shenanigans happened. But the return of the week was Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And well, you talk about it, Bob, but I was kind of confused that I understand he was gone because of blah, blah, blah. But I mean, Seth Rollins is back. Okay.
Well, I mean, he's probably going to be wrestling the CM Punk in the main event. We'll see what happens. But yeah, he's a huge star. He was on the Sun. He was a
huge star.
Yeah, he is. He was. You don't think he is? Oh
no, huge star.
Yeah, he was on Sunday Night Football the night before. He was thrown over the barricade at the Colts game by T.Y. Hilton. So he's been making appearances leading up to this. But yeah, he appeared. He hasn't been seen since August 5th, since he was destroyed by Bronson Reed. So he's been out for a little bit. So over a month and a half, almost 2 months off WWE television, probably nursing that injury that we talked about. Like, why is he special guest refereeing at SummerSlam? It's because he has an injury, I thought. So, yeah, he came back, hit Bronson Reed with a stomp. I'm sure they're going to finish that rivalry up, but Bronson Reed feels like they're just like going to push him, and now he's just, yeah, all right, see you later. He's not beating Seth Rollins. If I were booking it, I would have Bronson Reed beat Seth Rollins, but I was just excited to see Rollins back. And let's mention Jay White.
He's back.
Jay White, too. Honorable mention. He returned on Dynamite.
He did return. Yeah. He returned to face off with Hangman Adam Page. But the Big Show turn of the week. This is a gimmick that we haven't had in a while, Bob. This is when a babyface turns heel turns babyface, and in the long run, it doesn't matter because they don't matter on television. And we have The Miz turning on R-Truth. I did not even know that The Miz and R-Truth were still together, and yet they are. Not anymore, though.
Yeah, I didn't know they were still together either, because R-Truth was off television, much like Seth Rollins. We could have given R-Truth the return of the week. R-Truth was off television for 2 months due to an attack by Bronson Reed, and then just returns as The Miz's partner. And The Miz is just exclusively a heel. Whenever you try to make this guy a babyface, it really doesn't work. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he looks like an asshole.
He actually is a really nice guy. Yeah. I've met him in person. Oh, wow. He's actually like a legitimately nice guy.
That's cool. That's cool to hear.
Also, the biggest hand. Like I'm a large human. I'm 6'1", relatively well built. I gave that man a handshake. He engulfed my hand. Just good guy though.
Yeah, he's extremely talented. Like I've always liked The Miz as a heel, but when you make him a babyface, it takes everything away from him. He's not. His sarcastic, heelish jackassery is what makes him great. So I'm glad he turned heel again, but it's just comical because they were hinting at it for weeks. It's like, we all know you're turning The Miz heel, and who gives a shit? It's R-Truth. Like, but yeah, I'm glad he's a heel again. Finally.
I will say, now that I'm just thinking about it, talking about the Miz interaction that I had, it was at an event that was bartending. It was a special event. I think Kanye was performing or something, and he comes up like, and I'm just like, yeah, what do you need? Vodka soda? Duh. Like I'm just in a mode where it's rifling through the line, and then suddenly the Miz is there, and I'm like, oh shit, the Miz, what's up, dude? And he saw me light up, and he started, playing back and forth, and he wanted 3 beers, and he caught them all in one hand after I opened them.
Wow.
Three beer bottles all in his hand. I think they were for his friends, but who knows? Maybe they were just for him. And then his wife was there. Maurice was there next to him, and she was all dolled up, and she wanted a martini. And it was not the type of bar that made martinis. Like this was like a very, build it and wreck it at the end of the night bar. We're giving out cans and all this other shit. But I have the makings of a martini, but I had to go, find the olives that were buried in the box, find the olive juice. And I could just tell Maurice, I'm sure she's a nice lady. The face she was giving me as I was making her what had to be the worst martini she's ever had in her entire life. And I gave it my all. I know how to make a good martini, but the ingredients were not around me at the time. The face she was making at me kind of ruined the whole experience. Like it went from on a high with the Miz, and then I went like, I think I failed this whole experiment.
Oh my
God.
God.
She did have one of my martinis, Bob.
I would have had me. I would have had like the panic attack of all panic attacks if I was in that situation. She said martini, I would have been like, oh, let's sweat. There's just been a disaster. If that, like, I was terrible at the food service industry. Anything with pressure other than writing, I crumble. So I would not have been able to handle that. You did better than me. I would have just been like, we don't have martinis. I'm sorry. Just start crying, run away, and quit. But yeah, that's a great story.
The last thing we want to talk about to end it on not to end it on a somber note, but this is it. But it is the get well soon of the week. We had a bunch of injuries this week, Bob. Sammy Guevara left what I believe was ROH tapings on a backboard. There's rumors that he had a concussion. Again, I don't know what's been confirmed out there, but Sammy Guevara's dealt with that type of stuff before. You wish the best for that guy because we both have a lot of faith in him and want to see him succeed. But that would suck if he dealt with another one of those. Braun Strowman apparently tore his groin during the last Monster Standing match. Killswitch Luchasaurus, you're gonna have to explain to me what went wrong with him. And then we saw Dragunov tore his knee up and is going to be gone for a long time. But what happened with Killswitch?
Yeah, he was hospitalized with double pneumonia. So like
crazy.
That's, I mean, I don't want to like, that's scary as hell. Like
that is scary.
Yeah. So
it's not just a knee injury. Like knee injury is tough, but you can survive and figure it all out. Like being hospitalized for a legit lung disease is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Dude.
So get well soon. Don't come back before you need to at all. Take your time like that. But just so many, like a crazy just spate of injuries in the past few days. Just Dragunov is 6 to 9 months with a torn ACL. That's devastating for that guy. Like he hasn't established himself yet on the main roster. He kind of has, but he can't. You can't miss. Hopefully he can recover, but this is like that impacts your career because you're out of sight, out of mind for a year. We'll see what happens when Dragunov returns, but that's a huge blow to his career, I think. So hopefully he gets back and is healthy because he's one of the best wrestlers in the business. It's just sad, but Killswitch, Sammy, Strowman, and Dragunov all have injuries or sicknesses. Get well soon. Sorry to hear about all that stuff.
Yeah. Get well soon indeed. But that is it for the gimmicks of the week. We now end the show like we do every week with the headlines of the week where me and Bob predict the future of wrestling. What will WWE and AEW fans be talking about at this point next week? Bob, you're up first.
Well, I was gonna do Tiffany Stratton's walking out of WWE Bad Blood as the WWE Women's Champion, but I'm just gonna send a message to Triple H and Lee Fitting here. And my headline is: it's okay to have more than 5 matches on a Premium Live event. Okay, it's okay to do it. You want to put your names up as executive producers at the credits of every show. It's okay to have more than 5 matches. You don't need a 30-minute filler like we're going to get at Bad Blood. We know there's going to be some kind of stupid waste of time that we're going to all have to sit through.
No, there'll be a Slim Jim commercial.
Exactly.
John Cena will come back.
It's not really
talk to the crowd.
It's not really a headline. My headline is Tiffany Stratton's win the title this weekend, but we've talked about it, so that's it. Just you can have more than 5 matches at Bad Blood or any Premium Live event you want. You can work it out.
My big and bold headline is for AEW. While we will have peaks and we will have valleys, the last 5 years of AEW television will be the worst 5 years of AEW television. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for wrestling. I'm excited to be a wrestling fan, but that's it for today's show. And now we check in as we do every week with This Week in Ryback.